Now we find out in the wake of the murder of the healthcare CEO that silencers are more popular than ever. From 2017 to 2021, the number of silencers in the United States doubled from 1.3 million to 2.6 million. From 2021 to 2024, the number doubled again to 5 million. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Welcome to Gambling Mad with Norman Chad. I am Norman Chad. Coming up today on the program, there was a $3 million bet on an NFL game. That's a lot of money. Caesars Las Vegas buffet will cost you $100. That's a lot of money. And the word of the year is polarization. That's like a $50 word. That's a lot of money, too. Gambling Mad, as always, brought to you by Fritos, picked fresh off of Central California trees every morning, direct to your retailer every afternoon. And by Fresca. It's refreshing. It's remarkable. It's Fresca. Fritos and Fresca. It's a meal. There's not much to talk about anymore on the gun issue. We've said it all. We really shouldn't have them. Stop waving the Second Amendment in my face. Its original intent had nothing to do with having a firearm next to your umbrella at the front door of your home. Actually, the Second Amendment should have protected the right of people to keep and bear umbrellas because it rains a lot and an umbrella is much more useful than an assault rifle in a thunderstorm. So what are we talking about? Okay, we're talking about guns. Okay, now we find out in the wake of the murder of the healthcare CEO that silencers are more popular than ever. From 2017 to 2021, the number of silencers in the United States doubled from 1.3 million to 2.6 million. From 2021 to 2024, the number doubled again to 5 million. You know, okay, it's sad and absurd enough that there are more guns in America than there are people. But then think about this. There's actually one silencer for every 70 people living in America. Someone on your block has a silencer. Why so many? Because gun owners love the thrill of the kill, but hate the sound of gunfire? Because gun owners are just trying to be polite to their neighbors? Because gun owners are hypersensitive to noise pollution concerns in the greater community? It's none of that. It's largely to protect the hearing loss of the shooter. That makes sense. Healthcare comes first. So whenever you are committing homicide or hunting deer, our system ensures the best hearing protection in the world. Time for Trump Tittle Tattle, the latest news from the failed casino owner and former reality TV star. Do we have music yet? We will work on the music. Donald Trump announced he will end so-called birthright citizenship. He actually does not have the power to do this, which means he will absolutely do this. Donald Trump vowed that anyone or any company who invests at least $1 billion in the United States will get fully expedited approvals and permits, including all environmental approval. Trump is not empowered to do this, which means he will do this. Donald Trump suggested that lawmakers who investigated the January 6th Capitol riot, including Liz Cheney, should be jailed. Depending on his lunch schedule, he plans to do this on day 2 of his White House occupation. When asked if tariffs will raise prices for Americans, Donald Trump said, "I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow." We at Gambling Mad strongly disagree with this. Today is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday, guaranteed. How hard was that? Donald Trump was named Patriot of the Year by Fox News' streaming service, Fox Nation. There was no runner-up. Donald Trump has nominated Kimberly Guilfoyle as U.S. ambassador to Greece. It was not immediately clear what Greece had ever done to offend Trump. Meanwhile, President-elect Elon Musk told friends privately he believes Donald Trump is doing a bang-up job leading his White House transition team. And finally, in non-Trump news, President Biden was spotted watering the White House West Lawn on Tuesday without a garden hose. Time for NFL picks. Here is your weekly warning. Last Sunday, I took the Bears as a 4.5-point underdog. They were losing to the 49ers at the half 24-0 with a total of 4 yards offense on 17 plays. You could not make a worse pick if you were dating a Kardashian. Yet, my friends, you tell me, 3-2 for the week? Now 31-27-2 for the season. Huh? How about that? You know, all those fancy pants handicappers act like big shots driving their BMW, but I somehow get to the beach first, puttering along in my VW Beetle, and win over the ladies. All right, let's do some picks. Cowboys at Panthers. The Panthers are favored in this one. The first time in 33 games over 3 seasons that Carolina has been favored. Do you know how bad you have to be not to be favored against the Panthers? You have to be the Cowboys, apparently. The Panthers are bad, too, but they lost their last 3 games to the Chiefs, Buccaneers, and Eagles by just a combined 12 points. This feels like a flag football game between 2 company teams at a medical equipment manufacturing plant. Anyway, call me as an idiot if you wish, as you should, but I'm going to take the Panthers as a small favorite in this one. Jets at Jaguars. Imagine being a pro football fan in New York or New Jersey. The Jets and the Giants are a combined 5-21. The Jets are going to miss the playoffs for the 14th consecutive season. That's the longest current streak in the NFL. As for this gem of a game, both the Jets and the Jaguars already are eliminated from the postseason. The Jets played in Miami last week. This week, they're playing in Jacksonville. If they play in Tampa Bay next week, New Yorkers who moved to Florida will move back to New York to get away from the stink of the Jets. Anyway, if I was dumb enough to pick the Panthers as a favorite this week, I'm also dumb enough to pick the Jets. I'll take the Jets -3. What is this? I did not write that. Somebody on staff wrote that I am an idiot. I would never do that. I'm picking the Jets -3.5. And we will do a handwriting. I call myself an idiot. I don't need other people calling me an idiot. Jesus Christ. Mutiny on the Bounty. Dolphins at Texans. The Dolphins likely have to win their final 4 games to have a shot to make the playoffs. If they can win this one, it's possible because they finished the season against 3 losing teams, the Browns, 49ers, and Jets. Meanwhile, the Texans are going to win the AFC South, but their quarterback, C.J. Stroud, was spectacular as a rookie in 2023, and he's been less than spectacular in his second year. They call it a sophomore slump. Same thing happened to me back in college. As a freshman, I was big man on campus, working a good job at a department store, and projected to become a U.S. Senator. As a sophomore, I was collecting parking tickets on campus, working the overnight shift at 7-Eleven, and was projected to become an unknown podcaster. Anyway, C.J. Stroud will break out of his sophomore slump in this one. I am going to take the Texans and give the 3 points. Time for our colander pick of the week. Colts at Broncos. This is really an intriguing game, but I have zero interest in it. Who selected this as the calendar pick of the week? Huh? Probably the same person who put the thing that I'm an idiot. The key, as it always is in Denver, is whether the visiting team can adjust to playing at high altitude. Colts coach Shane Steichen, one of those boy wonders hired to run the team in his 30s, has figured out a solution. The Colts will camp outside over the weekend near Empower Field in Mile High to get used to the elements. Special team players will be in charge of building a campfire each evening, and offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter will put together a country rock playlist for the team's post-dessert sing-along. I'm going to take the Colts in this one, getting 4 points. Falcons at Raiders. The Falcons have lost 4 straight. The Raiders have lost 9 straight. The Raiders starting quarterback is Desmond Ridder, who once was the Falcons starting quarterback until he was benched in favor of Taylor Heineke. When you are replaced by Taylor Heineke, that's usually a hint to brush up on your telemarketing skills. The Raiders, meanwhile, have lost the interest of Las Vegas and are considering installing slot machines and seatbacks to keep their fans engaged. This is another close one eye and take another bad team as a favorite. I will somehow take the Falcons here, minus 5 points. Degen's gonna degen. An unidentified bettor in Kentucky last week made one of the largest wagers ever reported on an NFL regular season game. They bet $3.1 million to win $442,000 at Circus Sports Sportsbook on the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, I took the Panthers to cover the 12-point spread against the Eagles. It was one of my selections. We both turned out being right with one big difference. The bettor won $442K. And since I didn't actually bet, I won absolutely nothing. But I'll take my decision over their decision every day of the week and twice on Sunday. The Eagles beat the Panthers 22-16. The bettor was correct. The Eagles would win. I was correct. The Panthers would cover the 12-point spread. So yeah, the bettor cashed in for nearly $500,000, but is it worth the stress to risk $3.1 million on a football game? No. And in this case, the fate of that $3 million was still undecided with less than a minute to go in the game. The Panthers were actually driving for a go-ahead touchdown. With 45 seconds left, Bryce Young appeared to complete a pass to Xavier Legette at the goal line, but the ball slipped through the wide receiver's hands. So, okay, at minus 700 odds, should you risk $3.1 million? Usually not. The stomach muscles cannot withstand such anxiety. Then again, I'll grant you, you only live once. And, one could argue that couch slouch losers like me just sit on the sofa all day, taking no chances and drinking Fresca. Yes! Yes! I love Fresca! Refreshing and remarkable. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's home in Anderson Township, Ohio, was broken into and ransacked while he played against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. This is a teachable moment. 1, you should avoid working a night job if at all possible. 2, if you're working on live television, it's easier for a would-be burglar to recognize that you're not home. 3, always leave a light on in the master bedroom to fool some criminals into thinking you're not home. And 4, tape your name to the back or bottom of valuables to be able to identify them later if they are recovered. For more home safety tips, go to FBI.com. On the Las Vegas beat, is the renowned Caesar's Palace Bacchanal Buffet Ben Franklin worthy? I don't mean Ben Franklin himself. His last smorgasbord was in 1790. I mean Ben Franklin as in the $100 bill. Oh, I love these babies. Okay? If I ever get 100 of these things on me at one time, we are going to paint the carpet red. And by the way, if you happen to see one of these bills with the blue stripe, that's one of mine. Contact us through the show, and please return it to its rightful owner. Anyway, the all-you-can-eat buffet is a Las Vegas tradition. I remember my father insisting that we go to Palace Station for the buffet about 20 years ago. $8.99 a person. And, well, you pretty much got what you paid for. But my parents loved it. These days, $8.99 barely gets you a bottle of water in your Las Vegas Strip hotel room. Caesar's Palace spent $2.4 million to make over the Bacchanal room and its buffet, and naturally, someone's got to pay for it. It is $107.41 per person, including tax and tip, but not alcohol, if you want the buffet. Is it worth it? Well, I know 3 somewhat trustworthy people who have gone. One told me it was so good and so memorable. Another told me it had some really good food, but it was too expensive. and one said that she would never set her foot in there again. By the way, you might be wondering, why haven't I gone to the Caesars buffet yet? Do you know how many Popeyes two-piece combo meals you can get for $100? That's a week's worth of lunch, and with coupons, maybe 2 weeks. Okay, here's the best of the Caesars buffet. Foot-long crab legs, Wagyu beef, truffle rotisserie chicken, cherry glazed quail. Cherry glazed quail? Anyway, all of that among their 9 cooking stations with worldwide cuisine. It's just a fabulous gourmet feast. But there's one thing that negates all of that for me. They now put a 90-minute time limit on your stay. No. Frankly, I know most diners will be in and out of a buffet within 90 minutes, but you don't advertise that it's all you can eat and charge $100 and then set a timer on my table. No. Okay. Listen, Julius. Las Vegas is a gambling town. The suits at Caesars are gambling on a business that can make a lot of money, charging us a lot of money for food. The house is going to win in the long run. But just like at the blackjack and roulette and dice tables, the customer once in a while is going to get the best of it. And that's the way it should be at the buffet. If I want to come in with Joey Chestnut and run amok over your Italian sausages for 2 or 3 hours, you got to take the loss. Man up, Caesars. Before we wrap up, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. Inflation is bad. Shrinkflation is worse. Shrinkflation is when manufacturers downsize their products. The worst example of this has been one of the most common items we buy at the supermarket, orange juice. 64 ounces forever, the standard size of a carton when you got some Tropicana or Minute Maid. Then they went from 64 ounces to 59 ounces. I wasn't crazy about that, but it was less than 10% reduction. Then it went from 59 to 52. Okay, now we're down 20% from the original 64 ounces. Do I desire to drink less juice than before? No. Am I wanting to pay more for less? No again. And actually, that's what's been occurring. With inflation, prices go higher. With shrinkflation, packages get smaller. So what happens when prices go up and quantities go down? What happens when inflation meets shrinkflation? You get fuckflation. In summation, this conflation is a strangulation on our relaxation. That'll do it for another edition of Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad. Hope to see you next time. And remember, if you're going to roll the dice, make sure they're loaded. The word of the year, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is polarization. Frankly, it might be the word of the century. Polarization means division. Polarization means people shift into extremes instead of to the center. How did we get so polarized? Everyone retreated to their bubbles. Everyone decided, I'm right and you're wrong. We no longer discuss anything. It's my biggest complaint of the left-right divide. I make an argument, you call me a name. I state my case, and you say I'm practicing identity politics. I state my case, and you say I am virtue signaling. I say this, and you say I'm a snowflake. I say that, and you say I'm a libtard. And God forbid I show concern over social injustice or disadvantaged individuals, because then I am a woke cultural warrior. When Ron DeSantis launched his presidential campaign in 2022, he declared, "We reject woke ideology." Fine, Governor DeSantis. Well then, I reject your lame, half-baked, fat-headed, narrow-minded, unforgiving, dogmatic, intolerant, prejudiced, myopic, unjust, one-sided, bigoted, polarizing, dingleberry ass. He just turns me gambling mad!
Gambling Mad with Norm Chad is written by Norm Chad, executive producer John Scheinberg, Rosario Dill, and produced by Norm Chad and Rosario Dill. Associate producer is Green Group. Showrunner is Dan Telfer. Audio video engineering and studio facilities provided by 365 Studios Beverly Hills and Slap Studios LA. Make sure to reach out at Gambling Mad Show anywhere you get your shows, and at Gambling Mad with Norm Chad on YouTube. And if you really want to get at them, send a message to info@slapstudiosla.com.